be in Nashville in 2 weeks, and it looks like you're ready.
Yeah. Yep.
Please explain that. Where did you get it?
I got this little lady. I got this, I think, specifically for Nashville. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep it or not. I just got it today. My old flag cowboy hat was like velour and shit. The one time I wore it to a game, it was like 90 some degrees. It was, I think, that US-Mexico Gold Cup final in Chicago. And I sweated my ass off so badly I never wore it again. I finally threw it away like 2 weeks ago. So I bought this. It just arrived today. And I can't decide if I'm going to keep it or not, but it seems funny enough that I would wear it for the...
Looks like something the Nuge would wear.
Oh, Fred Bear.
Or Kid Rock. Kid Rock probably has one of those. Is this why you were late? Are we 15 minutes late doing this or whatever because you were getting the hat ready for?
Honestly, we're late because I went out and had had dinner at a beer garden, and got stuck in a downpour, and that's also why I had to wear a hat because like suddenly I got soaked and didn't want to look like a drowned rat.
So this is
also.
Oh yes, go ahead.
No, never mind. I was going to say also, as you know, but our viewers do not. When I have to piss, it takes like an hour. I often apologize to people behind me at sporting events because it sometimes takes forever. I had one of those events because I'd been drinking.
So this should be a good show. I think
good times.
This is USfanTV. We do the shows Tuesday nights and Thursday nights, and it being Thursday night, we are doing a show. And today, because Bruce Arena is going to announce the Gold Cup roster on Sunday, live on Fox Sports at halftime of whatever MLS game, I'm assuming, we are going to tell you who we believe the 23 players are that are going to make the roster today. And this is not a normal U.S. roster. This is a very strange thing. So I'm sure we'll be wrong on a lot of accounts. But still, because we have a 40-man pool to pick from, we can't
and we have a magic hat.
We do have a magic hat. And we pretty much know for sure that Kenny Saif is going to be part of the team because his paperwork went through today. So congrats to him. One-time transfer. He is now ours. I haven't heard about Jesse Gonzalez, if that's happened yet, but Kenny's did go through. So he will be on the team. As for who else, we'll have to take a look. So I don't know. What should we just do it? Should we just start giving the picks?
I mean, we can jump into it. I haven't seen. I see people commenting on things. So yeah, I guess we might as well. I mean, you can talk about if you have any before I jump into mine.
Yes, we should. Douglas brings up a very good point. We should hold on, Christian. That's a point that we need to get to right there.
Yeah, my God. Absolutely.
But first, yes, everybody vote for Christian Pulisic for the breakthrough star of the year or whatever at the ESPYs. I've never watched or cared about the ESPYs at all ever, but we want Christian to win that award because that would be cool. So go vote for him. And as for Christian Erstoga says Mexicans are saying Chile is an overrated team. If any national team on the entire planet should not be saying that Chile is an overrated team, it should be Mexico. What the fuck?
Let me take the hat off here for a moment to say these are the same Mexicans who were saying we don't overrate our team the other day.
And I found the sign of the Chicharito's better than Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah. They don't overrate their own team, but the team that beat them by how many? How many was that?
I believe it was Siete, right?
Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five. I could do a LeBron James here. Yeah, the team that beat them 7-0 in a meaningful game Nope,
Yeah,
nope,
they're
nope.
not overrated.
Overrated.
They're
Overrated.
very
Overrated.
good.
Overrated.
And they have somebody on the field. They have two guys on the field, really, but one mainly who is way better than anybody Mexico has. So um,
Oh shit, yeah.
he's a guy we
Yeah,
like very
Vidal.
much.
Vidal by himself would be the best player in CONCACAF. They have a guy better than Vidal.
Yeah, they have a top 5 in the world guy in Alexis Sanchez. Top 10, definitely, if not top 5. So I'd have to go through my pecking order, but I think Alexis is clearly top 10 at this point.
This season, this year, this past calendar year, top 5, I think absolutely. Normally, I would put him top 10. But this calendar year, guy's been phenomenal. I mean, he was awesome in Confederations Cup. He was awesome in the Premier League this summer. He's been pretty awesome in Confederations Cup so far.
Yeah.
He just set the record for Chile's all-time leading goal scorer, which I was surprised is only 38. But I mean, I guess realistically, when you look at it, it's not like Chile has a real super history of like being a soccer powerhouse. But whatever. Anyway, yeah, that dude is amazing this year, and he's a pretty incredible player, period. But he's absolutely amazing, and yeah, they're not overrated.
No. So, yeah, but I mean, Mexico is doing well in that tournament, so we'll see how far they actually get.
Although, hold on, one thing I did have in my notes here, also about some comments we recently received. Yeah, they sure as hell got off lucky by the end of that New Zealand game.
Oh my God.
Because they should have had at least one red card, possibly two.
They
should have had Marquez should have had probably a yellow card. Like, come on.
There's no point in review.
Essentially scot-free.
There's no point in having video review if you're not going to use it correctly. And I don't. Once again, yeah, Vargas is actually probably better with the national team than he is with club teams, but I think he's a very good player. So,
oh yeah, no, that's absolutely true. Yeah.
All right, Gold Cup roster. This is a weird one, but that's what we're doing. Let's see here. Goalkeepers. You have asterisks next to two of the guys. Why don't you tell us what's going on here?
I do. I've got Brad Guzan, Bill Hamid, and Jesse Gonzalez. And I've got asterisks for Guzan and Joe Bendick, because I could see where what you get. Like, I don't even put Howard on this list because I don't think there's any chance he's playing. To me, at his age,
no.
And for what you get from it, what's the point? In the Gold Cup, you've got at least what you're going to get from him from Guzan, and you are testing out a younger guy, or putting the weight on a younger guy. You don't need to necessarily test Howard or Guzan. But I have an asterisk next to Guzan because while Bruce has said, I think I'm going to take him, to me, is it really worth it? Do you absolutely need him? Now,
it's bad timing for him going into a new club and then.
To me, normally I could see where you do, especially because you're testing out some other defenders, I think, in this tournament, and probably other defenders and other defensive midfielders. So I could see where you send in where you send in a standard keeper, because you want somebody who has kind of a uniformity of the way they line up the defense, in what they look for, and also what you're getting from them, so you have a better shot stopper, because you don't know what you're going to get from the defense out there. But having said all that, and having even listened to Bruce say, he's probably going to play, I think I'm going to take him. To me, is it worth it when he's just coming to a new club and he's coming to be the number one? But at the same time, after all he's been through, do you want to stick him with his club team, let him get some wins, let him see some more shots, let him do some things, get some confidence back? Or do you want to just throw him into the national team and let this be his? I kind of would rather see some experimentation here and probably go Joe Bendick instead. I think Hamid is probably the number one. If you look at this group, if Guzan doesn't make it, Hamid is probably number one. Having said that, we already know Hamid's injured. Just going to happen. Like, whatever, by July 8th, Hamid's going to be injured one way or another. So whatever, it's going to fall to Jesse Gonzalez. We all want Jesse Gonzalez. We want to see what he can do. If his paperwork, I guess I should say, if his paperwork comes through. Because while we, like you said, we've heard Kenny Sayef's paperwork's through. I haven't heard anything about Jesse Gonzalez's. Until his paperwork's through, he's not tied to the U.S. Nothing's official. So whatever. But to me, if you've got a guy who's changing paperwork and a month ago was saying he wanted to play for Mexico and feels like he was committed to Mexico, if he's signing that paperwork to come to the U.S., that to me says he was guaranteed something. So he's on this roster if he can fit it, which is why I didn't put an asterisk next to him. But I do feel like he and Hamid are going to battle for number one. I think Hamid's still number one, but like I said, we all know Hamid's going to be injured by somehow. He's going to be injured by the time the first game runs around. So it's really, I think, down to Gazan and Jesse Gonzalez to be number one. Joe Bendick is there if Gazan doesn't get called up.
Has he never been called up for us before, has he? I can't remember.
As far as I know, he has never been. I don't remember ever playing before.
The other two on the 40-man that we did not select were...
He may have had, to this point, and I mean, if you saw the game last night, he may have the best, be in the best form of any player, of any keeper in MLS right now.
I will see him Saturday here in Chicago. I hope he's in terrible form then. The two we didn't select, you mentioned Tim Howard and former Fire keeper, current NYCFC guy, Sean Johnson. Good dude, not probably good enough to make the cut.
Yeah, cool guy. I wish he had kept growing over the last few years, but I just don't think he did. We don't have TJ on to cite the many reasons why he doesn't think Sean Johnson should take it to the next level. To me, not even getting into that. It's just looking at who's surpassed him at this point. Hamid has certainly passed him. Bendick on form has surpassed him, if nothing else. And Jesse Gonzalez has at least surpassed him. I mean, maybe was always above him, but we never really considered him because he was, as far as we knew, Mexico's keeper. Yeah.
Defenders. Let's see here. Let me pull up the list. All right, why don't you go ahead? You came up with this list, so I'll have you do the honors and actually.
All right. Starting at left back, I got Jorge Villafana. Well, I could see where he doesn't get called up because it looks like his position is pretty well locked. For some of the younger guys who, I think are setting up a position, I think Bruce is going to keep running him out there and just keep seeing, if nothing else, get him used to it and get the other players who may sub in and out used to them being there. So I still see him as the starting left back. I have Greg Garza in as the number 2. Moving into the center, I have Matt Hedges, Matt Beasler, Matt Miazga. I didn't even realize until now that I had 3 Matts.
Yeah, it's too many.
Matt gets you on the roster. I might have done something about that had I noticed that before. Steve Birnbaum as my 4th. I think based on who's been called up lately, I kind of looked at it not necessarily as by who I thought should make it, but as I looked at it according to who Bruce has called up lately. Birnbaum I have as my 4th center back because he hasn't been called up since, I think he got called up in March, or was January the last time? Anyway, I can't think of it right now, but that to me gives you, at least in Hedges and probably Beasler and maybe Miazga, as pretty solid, proven center back pairing somewhere in there. Hedges, I think, based on just getting to play for the national team, I think we'll probably get to start. Beasler, maybe the number 2, or maybe kind of the second one in that pairing, or it could go to Miazga. Beasler can play kind of anywhere across the back line, so he may slot in regardless, but we'll see. To the right, I have Graham Zusi and Eric Lehigh. Personally, I would like to see Lehigh above Zusi, but based on the call-ups, including like most recent qualifiers, I expect that Lehigh is the backup there, and my fear is he's going to be the one who gets cut when it comes to the next round and to the knockout rounds, and we can sub in some other players. But my hope is that his versatility, and I don't know, how long does the guy have to prove himself in a foreign league before he should play for the U.S.? He's kind of running out of chances at his age. He's 29 now, but personally, we've been calling for it over and over and over. We've been shocked it hasn't happened. I think finally he's going to get a chance. I just hope he gets to play and doesn't get dropped in the future rounds.
I still wonder, and this is ridiculous if it's true, and I really would hope it's not true, but I still wonder if availability of games on TV has any impact on these guys getting called up by the national team. Like if it's easier to see a guy in their league on TV, then you get called up more often than the championship or, the Belgian league or something like that, where it's harder to see. I that would be ridiculous if it's true, but I don't see how you.
I'm sure that doesn't hurt.
It can't hurt. You're right, but I mean,
Bjorn Mars Johnson maybe would have gotten a chance if he was on mainstream TV before, had more than just like YouTube videos of his skills. Maybe he would have gotten a chance before now and before getting called up to Norway most recently. But whatever. Anyway, my feeling is we know what we get from Zusi. He's getting older. I mean, he and Lehigh both are getting older, so maybe that's irrelevant. But my feeling is he's still kind of learning the right back position. Lehigh is a fullback. Well, Lehigh can kind of play anywhere across the back line, and my feeling is he's better than Zusi. But Zusi got the most recent call up, so I assume he's still number one. But number two really. But in this roster, number one. Those are my 8 picks at defense.
Any major? I'm looking through the list of guys you didn't take for any major names.
Matt Polster I didn't take.
Polster and Spector maybe?
Spector I didn't take. Spector has been really good in MLS this season. But
how old is he now? Somebody Google his age and throw it up.
Like a lot of our players, he is not he's not a spring chicken at this point. 86. He is 31.
He's 86 years old. He's only 31. I would have guessed he was older. He seems like one of those guys that's been around for such a long time. But
well, I mean, when you think about how long has it been since he was playing for United?
It was like 03, 04, wasn't it? Somewhere in there.
Something like that. Yeah.
Didn't he play in that game we saw at Soldier Field?
For United? I think yes. But wow. I can't remember offhand, but I think
that was against Bayern. Bayern threw out free jerseys after the game to they stood on the parking garage at Soldier Field and just launched free jerseys to the crowd. It was amazing. So I liked Bayern a little bit after that. Not like I like Arsenal, but just a little bit. Where are we at? Midfielders? I think it's time for midfielders.
We are into the midfield. Dun-dun. I've got, kind of again, starting from the left, Paul Arriola, Kenny Saif. I'm curious where Saif could play. To me, based on being left-footed, you probably are looking at him playing to the left, but
I've never seen him except for some YouTube videos and stuff.
That's about all I've seen of him too. I mean, maybe some Ghent highlights from like Champions League stuff on TV, but yeah, I've never personally watched him play, so I really don't know what to say. I took Joe Corona. He's one of them that I feel like this is kind of where he plays. The Gold Cup is kind of his shot. He never seems to really get a full shot at the highest level, World Cup qualifying or something. So I don't know that he's a lasting choice here, but looking at the guys who are available, I kind of feel like he's probably it's sort of his time or his spot or whatever. Kellen Acosta, I have him in here. A lot of people are predicting he's not going to get to play, or at least not in the early rounds, and I could see it. However, my feeling is he only just really kind of, if you want to count the Mexico game as locking it down, he only just locked down that spot. To me, that's a guy you keep giving the chances to, you keep giving the opportunities to, you keep giving the tests to, because you just want to see did he have a good game? Has he had a handful of good games? Or you want to make sure, now that you're confident in him, you want to make sure, okay, this is what he's got. This is what the other guy should get used to. And this is, you learn where he fits into the whole lineup of things.
Depending on who starts, I could see Christian him being the captain.
Based on a lot of the guys in here, it's actually not. I think not too far fetched. Christian Roldan, I just think he deserves a call up.
Yeah.
My feeling is he's sort of like some of the guys we've talked about over the last month or so, of guys that have kind of earned the right. See what they can do. Maybe he can't make it at this level. Maybe he can't hack it. But until we've seen that he can't, he needs to get a shot. And right now, I don't think you need Bradley to get past Panama, and I can't offhand right now think of who the other teams are.
Martinique. And who do we play in Cleveland?
Is it Honduras?
Haiti?
Haiti?
It might be Haiti. Let me look. Hang on. I'll tell you.
Yeah. Anyway, looking at the group, you don't need Michael Bradley there. Now, having said that, I mean, personally, I would take him because kind of like putting in Acosta, I think that's a part of the field that you want to lock down, and it gives you sort of a measuring stick to see what the rest of the guys are worth.
Nicaragua. That's who we played in Cleveland.
It was Nicaragua.
Nicaragua.
It was a
Panama, Martinique, and Nicaragua.
And Martinique. That was kind of a mixture of accents there. Anyway, to me, you bring Bradley and you put him and Acosta in, and you just you kind of cement that relationship. But looking at the guys who are on this list, I think there are enough of them that probably deserve a shot. But I think you hold Bradley out until the later rounds. You give him a rest. I've heard some people say, let him wait until the Canadian Championship, whatever the Canada Cup thing is. Wait until that's done. But that should be done. I think the final game is Tuesday.
Yeah.
So he'd maybe be a couple days late to camp, but at most. But no big deal there. He'd still have like a week to train with the team. But I'm kind of calling on it here as not have him in the opening rounds, because I think there's enough to get past those teams. If we suck, whatever, maybe if we suck, yeah, it's on Bruce. He screwed it up. But I think there's probably enough talent here that we should be able to get at least through the group with, two teams that kind of can't compete with us, even with like a C or a D team out there. Beyond Roldan, I've got McCarty in probably as Bradley's backup.
Another guy who could be the captain if he starts.
Yeah. I think that's a good point, actually. And then on the right, Darlington Nagbe and Giazzi Zardes. Personally, I think Zardes should play as a forward. I don't really like him as a midfielder, but he's listed as a midfielder, so I guess that's how Bruce is taking him. I kind of see this as Bruce.
Yes.
Bruce giving one of the guys he's created a chance, and then maybe giving him a chance to move past MLS or something. Because my feeling is, as cool as Giazzi was when I met him, and as much as I want to see him succeed, he needs to go somewhere else and have to focus on a better first touch, have to focus on, better how to beat players. He's got speed and he's got kind of a nose for goal. But beyond that, I don't know that he has a lot to offer at the international level, or if he has enough to offer at the international level. Like at this international level, okay, fine. But so I have him in kind of the last spot, the backup right midfielder. But personally, I'd rather see him as a forward. I just don't. There's not room in these forwards.
This may be the last time we ever see him in the jersey if he performs poorly. So if Bruce hasn't called you in at this point, and Bruce was your club coach, and I know he was hurt for a while, but Giassi was very promising for a long time, but Giassi needs a reboot at this point because I think a lot of people have lost interest. All right, so
would that be Giazzi with two eyes?
Yes.
Giaz
yes. It's terrible and funny. Big names that you left off were Bedoya, Bradley. You talked about Christian Pulisic. We already knew wasn't going to be here, and you left off Paul. Oh no, you did have Paul Arriola. So no, so he was there.
Kellen Rowe, Will Trapp, Tommy McNamara. They were all off the 40 list. To me, it's just based on who's up next. And I kind of look at it as none of these guys are playing, with the exception of maybe like Colin Acosta and Villafaña. None of these guys are really playing for like a starting role at the World Cup. They're really playing to fill out the roster, fill up like who can play the backup. So if Josie Altidore tears his hamstring 20 minutes into our opening game, we have a backup plan. We don't go, well, I don't know what the hell to do now. Now, Michael Bradley, you go do something. There is something. I assume we're going to go, just because Bruce is so pragmatic, I assume we're going to go with backups to like everyone at the World Cup. And we'll effectively have two teams.
And the forwards. Not the most exciting bunch.
Yeah, not really.
I'm excited for Dwyer.
I've got Jordan Morris, Dom Dwyer. Again, with you switched your FIFA. You became a citizen. You're cleared by FIFA to play for us. To me, and Bruce has mentioned he wants to see what you can do. Dwyer's getting a call up. I think he's going to get chances. I could see where he maybe gets a starting shot. I've got Juan Agudelo and CJ Sapong. Part of it is they're just amongst the leading scorers so far. Agudelo, as much as Leipzig loves him, Agudelo has talent that not many of our other forwards have. Like, the guy can do things with the ball. He has skills that other players in the roster just don't have. The big thing is he doesn't seem to ever make it consistent. So to me, this is just another chance to, see what he can do. Sapong is probably more like a Josie replacement, Josie backup, sort of a hold-up guy, but he's scoring, so you can't hold him off. And like I said, I could see where Bruce is looking to create backups for everyone. So I think he's probably looking for who's his Josie number 2.
I think you would see Josie and Deuce both come in for the knockout rounds, because unless these guys are just phenomenal, and Dwyer might be great, but otherwise I think we need some reinforcements there if we're going to actually try to win it. So
I will say, of my subs, 2 of them are forwards, and it is Josie and Deuce. I actually wouldn't take Deuce, but I could see where he wants that scoring record. So he's going to push, I think, to get in there. To me, at his age, I'd rather just let him go play with the club and be done. And we'll see you back here in September. But I think he's probably angling for this. And, I think he wants it. And if there's a question, like if we've scored 14 goals in the opening round or something, I don't think Deuce gets called in. If we have 5 goals off of 3 games, I think Deuce probably gets called in, because if nothing else, the guy's going to get his goals if he has the chance. And Bruce will call him in, even if he sits the bench for 75 minutes and becomes a super sub. But why wouldn't you send him in at that point? If you need a goal, who are you going to turn to? You're going to turn to Clint Dempsey.
There may actually be a way to tell when the roster's announced who the guys are that are likely to be removed and for whom, because they're not going to want to shift guys' numbers twice. So if you see lower level guys with like a 4 or an 8, those might be the guys who are thought to be leaving, and you might see, Bradley or Dempsey or somebody like that coming in. If you can try to do the math and figure out where the shirt numbers work, because they wouldn't want Bradley or Dempsey playing in a weird shirt number. That's not good for the brand. And they wouldn't probably want to shift a number twice to move the numbers around to give the guys their preferred numbers after the the group stage is over. So maybe I'm reading way too much into that, but maybe there'll be something we can figure out with that too. So
that was some good thinking. You know what that is? That's a math magician right there.
So that would leave two extra subs, right? Because we get 6, isn't that right?
Yeah, I've got 4 on my list. I didn't fill in the other 2. I had some thoughts on them, but I didn't go with it. I have Omar Gonzalez as one of them, Michael Bradley, of course. So that's the 4 I've got is Omar, Bradley, Josie, and Deuce. Of the others, part of the reason I left it blank was if something happens with the goalkeepers, I could see where, Guzan or Howard suddenly gets called in, but I don't expect that to be a necessity. And then I could see where maybe Bedoya gets called in later. I would rather, and I think after the Mexico game, Arriola probably has taken Bedoya's spot. But if you just want a little more sound defensive capabilities moving into the later rounds, I could see where Bedoya gets a call up.
Ricardo says, with Mexico's B team out there, the champions will likely be the USA or Costa Rica. I don't know. This is a pretty straight up B team for us too. So we'll see. I don't know. Is Costa Rica going all out? Or are they bringing Joel Campbell and Keylor Navas and everybody that we expect they would bring? Or I can't imagine Costa Rica putting a B team out there. So they should be pretty good probably. But Bobby Wood got married. I didn't hear that. Good for Wood. Yeah, Kenny Saif, we're excited to see him play. Just see him play, period, because we haven't seen a lot.
I mean, look, he's a guy playing in Champions League who has chosen us. And granted, based on his quotes, he doesn't exactly hide what he's doing here. He's like, well, come on, the U.S. is better than Israel. Of course I want to go play for him. But whatever. He was born in the U.S. and he wants to play for us. He's been playing in Champions League. I can't say no. What do I care if you took your chances when you got them? I don't fault guys for kind of jumping around in their national allegiances when it benefits them. I mean, look, if you don't get a call up from the country you were born in and you get a call up from somebody else and you have a chance to play in a World Cup, why wouldn't you take it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, Fabian Johnson would play for Germany if Germany had taken him.
Or Jermaine.
I don't fault him.
Absolutely.
Or Jermaine or John Brooks. I mean, the list goes on and on. I don't have a problem with those guys choosing to play for the U.S. And I don't have a problem if, they kind of understand that this may not be the country of my birth, but it gives me a shot. As long as they're willing to commit to us and play, to represent us and at least kind of give the appearance of being committed to kind of the United States, by all means, play for us. Have at it.
And different guys have different levels of attachment to, the two country thing too. Like, Mix Discarud, a guy who isn't very good, but he was here like every year as a kid. So he actually grew up in, he spent time with his family in Arizona all the time. He has a very strong attachment to the U.S. Other guys like maybe have never been here before, but they are they are just using it for, just maybe a boost in their club contract because they play at the international level or something. Who knows? But yeah, it's in the chance to play in a World Cup, sure. But it's different for different guys, absolutely. And if Ireland suddenly wanted me to go play there, yeah, I've been there once. I like St. Patrick's Day, sure, but I'm not like greatly attached to Ireland. I'd rather play for the U.S. So, this assumes I'm good at soccer, which I'm not. But you get it. Like guys have different levels of attachments to different teams, and so. But for whatever reason, they're here. As long as they care and they want to play for us, good, welcome. What is left? Fuck Giuseppe Rossi. We're always on board with that.
Fuck yeah.
We joke about Wando, but I think Wando might actually be a decent guy. Rossi, I still hold a grudge. I don't know.
Stupid fucking New Jersey asshole.
it was all his dad. His dad was just pushing that down his.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I get what he was doing, and on a personal level, like an individual level, sure, I understand it. And I mean, come on, if 10 years ago you'd been offered the chance to play for the United States or Italy, which one are you probably going to win a World Cup with? You have no chance, presumably, of winning one with the United States. You might have a chance of winning one with Italy. I mean, I get logically why he did it, but you're not supposed to entirely make this decision based off logic. So,
yeah,
which country were you born in? Which country did you grow up in?
It's a lot more. That was one that I just.
You don't speak Italian with an American accent. I mean, you don't speak American English with an Italian accent. You speak Italian with an American accent because you're American. You're not Italian.
Whatever. He's gone.
But yeah, who cares? His career was destroyed by basically he's like Bill Hamid when it comes to injuries. So it's like, oh, you got a chance. There you go. You're hurt.
I'm laughing at Brian writing in the dad's accent. You need to represent the Italy, yes.
Hey, shut up. You shut up. Hey, shut up. What do you shut up?
Can I go in the stadium? We're on a strike again. Ricardo, you speak Italian? That is very interesting. So yeah, I speak 3 words, maybe. I don't nothing. It's
yeah. I know a few words of Italian.
Look at this.
I know how to swear in a lot of languages. Buonasera, amici. Ci vediamo dopo. I don't even know what that means. I mean, I know what buonasera means. Amici, I can translate.
We're doing.
Ibisevic is not American. He could have played for us, and that was one of those guys who, like, there are 3 or 4 guys, all of whom had the chance to, and had we done a better job recruiting them before they made their kind of FIFA decision, or before they chose to be captained with someone, could have been with us. You know, when we talk about, I wrote this in our blog of, I don't know, 6 months ago or something about, you know, when people say like, oh, what if the best athletes played soccer in the U.S.? Look, we could already possibly have a World Cup winning team. Our best, the best Americans have chosen to play for someone else, or the best would-be Americans have chosen to play for someone else. And we've had better players than the guys we even have currently. We just have lost them to someone else. They've chosen to play for a different country. We could have a much different team if, yeah, Bisevic, Neven Subotic, I can never remember how to say his name, Giuseppe Rossi, you know, some of these guys had chosen to play for the United States. Come on. Then you add somebody like Pulisic in too, like we could have a pretty strong backbone to our team. But it is what it is. I mean, this is what happens. Now, the nice thing, and this is one of the reasons I've said in the past why I do believe the U.S. will win a World Cup in the not too distant future, is that we are reaching a stage where guys who, you know, there are an awful lot of players who could play for Mexico, could play for the United States. We're starting to win some of them over. I think if and when Jesse Gonzalez's paperwork goes through, I think that's actually a good sign. Not even because I absolutely want him to play for us. Is he our future goalie? Yeah, maybe. Give him the chance and let's find out. I don't know. But to me, it's just we're winning more of those battles where, you know, he thought he wanted to play for Mexico, but he's going to play for the U.S. instead. And, you know, we're going to win more of those. We are winning more of those. And I think inevitably, as we get better, we're going to start winning those other. I mean, even Giuseppe Rossi has said if he had the opportunity now, he might play for the U.S. But 12 years ago or whatever the hell it was when he was getting his first shot, no. You looked at who we were. We were coming off a terrible World Cup. And, well, 2002 we weren't, but 2006 wasn't a good one. I can't remember if it was like 2004, exactly when he first got his call up to Italy, but maybe 2007 that was. Anyway, you know, it wasn't a strong time for the U.S. Even looking at 2002, I think everyone accepted we played over our heads. Meanwhile, Italy was Italy. So,
yeah,
you know, I understand why he made that decision. Give that choice now. Italy's not looking as strong. we're looking much stronger than we were. You know, are they much more likely? If I was gambling, are they much more likely to win? The 2018 World Cup than we are? Yes. Are they much more likely to win the 2022 World Cup? Probably so. But 2026, who the hell knows? Most of the guys you're looking at now aren't going to be there. So I don't know.
The smoking is eventually going to catch up with them.
Hey.
This is USfanTV. The website is USfanTV.com. We have Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Come on, people. We're doing more on Facebook, and we've got, like, our other numbers are good. Come like the Facebook page, please. USfanTV on Facebook. We hate Snapchat very much, and we're not doing Pinterest either. Although I thought about starting a Pinterest the other day just for fun. I don't know what.
Just to look at our jerseys and our lovely headwear.
Share great recipes. Yeah. My wife kept sending me these Pinterest recipes. She would text them to me, and I would hit the link, and it would be like, you have to sign up for Pinterest. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm not doing this. Finally, I gave in and got one. So I can look at the recipes that she thinks would be good. Yeah, we should put
that's why you got one.
I should give you one of the stickers that I just had made, and we could put it on the front of that hat. USfanTV cowboy hat. Use Instagram more. We definitely probably should. We have the YouTube, but you know that because you're here. Subscribe if you haven't, but I'm sure all of you guys have. And tell your friends. We like getting more subscriptions and more views because that's fun.
Tag away, Douglas. Have at it.
Yep, whatever you want, man. What else? Is there anything else? What's
the only other thing I had in my notes? Orrin McKenzie-Gaines has signed a 3-year contract with Darmstadt. They were just relegated to the 2 Bundesliga, but it should give him the chance for first team minutes because he was only playing for the U19s at Wolfsburg. He's only like 18, so this actually is a pretty good move for him, presumably, if it really does get him playing time. And, he is one of the guys who we're hoping is an up-and-comer. So, the chance to get some first-team minutes at a relatively young age should be a real positive.
You have to say the words.
On that note, y'all are done.
All right. Bye, guys. See you next week. You are done.